Radio Lewes. Wi-Fi radio.
Hello, this is Swazzy and you're listening to Something for the Weekend. And it's sunny, it's beautiful. I hope it's still sunny. We've just been away to Cornwall for the week and it was absolutely beautiful. We had a little bit of rain, really nothing to mention. It was while we were driving somewhere, and we had a beautiful day on the beach. The first day that we were there, we decided to do the drive overnight this time, so the kids were in the car because we'd been to see Danny Baker at the Horth in Crawley, and I've seen him, I think it's 3 times this year now. So I saw him perform the show that I saw him do at Horth last year, which was from the first book, and that was brilliant. Loved it. He is the successor to Ken Dodd, as he keeps saying, because he performs for a good 3 hours, if not more. So saw him do that show again at Shepherd's Bush Empire with hubby in March. And I'm really pleased he got to see that, because he then got to see both halves of the show. So he got to see the last of the previous tour and the new tour, and then we saw that again at Horth. Now, I'm not entirely sure why we went to see it twice. I think what happened was that I'd bought the tickets for Horth and then found out about Wimbledon, so I then bought them for Wimbledon. So we ended up seeing it twice, but that was fine. There was no bad thing. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because then the kids stayed over with some friends and had a sleepover. So we turned up there about 1 o'clock. Yes, he really does perform that late. Picked the kids up in their pyjamas, popped them in the car, and then drove down to Cornwall overnight, which was great in theory, except I'd been at work all day. Then I'd been to see Danny Baker. So by about 1 in the morning, I was really flagging and was really struggling on the motorway. And I don't do well on the motorway when there are no cat's eyes and no lights or anything. So I had to hand over the drive to hubby. But it meant we arrived there super early in the morning, which was fantastic. Arrived, had some breakfast, and then took it in turns to go to bed and have some sleep. And then just went to the beach for the day, which was brilliant. It was beautiful weather. The kids loved it, put on wetsuits and went bodyboarding. I'm not really a beach person. I don't do sand. So I just sort of hung out on the breakwater at the back and just really enjoyed it. And over the week, we just did some really fun things, which I'll tell you about. So that's kind of our summer holiday. That's it done now. So the kids are in camp every single day of the summer holidays. Came back to see the cat. I think he's getting old, and I think he's starting to worry. He just seems to have been a bit distressed while we were away. So I think we're not going to leave him again, I think, for this length of time. I think it's probably a bit unfair on him, because he is getting quite old and a bit distressed when we're not around. So, so I did feel a bit bad about it. So before I came on air, I came to record this, I was on the phone to the vet to try and get an appointment to get him seen, just because, I do worry about the little guy. So if you follow me on Instagram, Swazzy Rogers, SWAZZI-RODGEIS, you will see many pictures of Neo. You will see pictures of my trainers. You will see pictures of my little workout schedules from my watch, where I record the pace and the heartbeat and all the rest of it from my runs. The last day of the holiday, we actually went cycling. We went on the Camel Trail again, which is the reason it's called the Camel Trail is because of the River Camel that runs through Cornwall, and the Camel Trail follows the path of the river. Now, last time we went from hired bikes at Bodmin, from lovely Phil at Bodmin Bikes. I would highly recommend him. And we hired them from him and then cycled to Wenford Bridge, which is about 7 miles. And then this time we thought, we'll go a different way. So we cycled to Wade Bridge. Got a puncture about 2 kilometres in. So poor hubby was trying to repair the puncture on the buggy that the youngest was sitting in. And so we had to kind of take it very easy all the way to Wade Bridge. Went to our favourite diner for lunch, got a repair, got a new tyre, and then sped all the way back again. So that was good fun. And I'd been for a run that morning, and then when we got back, because we'd been in the car for so long, I went for a swim. So I'm saying that I did a triathlon over 48 hours. Not exactly going to be winning any medals anytime soon. But if you're wondering why I'm doing all the exercise, it's partly for training for the half marathon, but also because I'm trying to take care of myself now that I'm getting on a bit. And that's my thing. I'm doing a 70-day fitness challenge. The idea is to kind of up my fitness and challenge myself and push myself a bit further. And also because makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Yeah, yeah. When you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me.
I admit, after I've done a run, I feel like that. At the beginning, I don't always. Normally, I feel like, why am I doing this? And it's... We did have quite an active holiday. There were lots of active things that we did. I mean, I went running 3 times on holiday, because the schedule that I'm following required me to do 3 runs. So there was a 30-minute run on a Sunday and then 2 20-minute runs. And it's actually really beautiful around there. So it's lovely scenery. The terrain is a little bit mixed, but it was, good running. I have to get out quite early at the moment because the weather's been so hot. Not complaining, loving it. You're very, very lucky if you live in Lewes, because you've got Pell's outdoor swimming pool, which I've not been to yet. We've got various Lidos where I live, and I have friends who are absolute devotees of the whole outdoor swimming thing. I swim fairly regularly, but I haven't been for over a week, so I really missed it. And now I've got this watch that I can swim in. It's great because I can sort of get the full record of exactly how far I'm swimming. And I was always underestimating quite how hard I was swimming, I think, before, because the tracker watch I had before was having to sort of make a guess, and it was quite conservative is understating it, really. So that you've got so many options of days out where you live here. So Pell's is just one of them, which looks amazing. But on hot days, I would imagine it's a little bit chaotic. The train that I travelled down on today was absolutely heaving, with people on their way to, I'm guessing, Eastbourne. This is the thing I have with the trains. I always forget which end of the train to be on. And, of course, it's the last 4 carriages because I get on at East Croydon. And I don't always remember which the last 4 carriages were. So I was only one out. I'm nearly always 1 carriage away because I try to sit near the middle. So at Haywards Heath I can move. But the front end of the train was much quieter and air-conditioned. And then I moved to the back end of the train and it was much busier and not air-conditioned. So I think the good people of Lewes and Eastbourne should say something to the train company. Although we all know that speaking to train companies achieves nothing, and no better than Soraya, who we used to talk to each other quite a lot. I mean, we would go through phases where we wouldn't speak to each other, and then we would speak to each other all the time. And the period of time when there were all the train strikes, she was ringing me most days, because she'd be standing on a train platform and she'd say, "I had a message from you and I forgot to ring you back," and I would hear just the frustration of being stuck at Barnham, because she was working at Portsmouth and she was living in Lewes, and having to travel back and forth was just so difficult. I mean, thankfully later on she then was working at University of Brighton, which made her much happier, and the journey was much easier. But for a long time she was stranded quite a lot, and to the point where she even couldn't make it to her own leaving do because of train strikes, which is ridiculous. I mention it because the next few weeks apparently there are train strikes which will affect my journey to work. Oh joy. So at least it's during the school holidays, so I suppose it's not quite as stressful as it would be if it was during the school term, but it's still quite unfair on all the people who are travelling. And what is it with air conditioning? Come on, sort that out. Other countries have air conditioning. Why can't we do it? My lovely friend invested in an air conditioning unit for her bedroom a few years ago, and she said it was the best money she's ever spent. And I'd imagine it's paying for itself now. So, things we can do over the summer. There's Spring Barn Farm. Now, I was hoping to get a few more up-to-date things about what they're doing this summer, but I don't seem to have found the kind of up-to-date bits and pieces about that. But there are lots and lots of holiday clubs. Now, my two love holiday clubs. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but mine really love it. And my little one is 4, nearly 5, and my older one is almost 8 now. And they love it because they get to do lots of sports and activities and things. So if your kids are a bit like that, then Barracuda's kids camps are suitable from 4.5 to 16 years. They do sports, arts, crafts and more. There's also Premier Sports, which is for children of school age. And Brighton and Worthing have the Outdoor Project, which is all-weather outdoor activities for 5 to 12-year-olds. There's Wilderness Wood, which is in Hadlow Down, East Sussex. And that's creations, stories, bushcraft and workshops. And it's on various ages, depending on the activity that they're running. Red Rooster Sport, which is a rugby day camp, 6 years to 14 years, and that has venues in Brighton and Hove. And Boom Active, which is a multi-sports programme for 5 to 11 years old, and that has venues in Hastings and Bexhill. If you want to take your kids out for days out, they're not sporty or they don't always like doing things like that, the National Trust has membership from just $9.25 per month for a family. And whether you're looking to discover historic houses, roam in beautiful gardens or wander through stunning countryside, National Trust membership is your key to unlimited, unforgettable days out. The properties in Sussex that are included in your membership include Alfriston Clergy House, Bateman's, Bodiam Castle, Cuckmere Valley, Devil's Dyke, Lamb House, Monk's House, Nyman's Gardens, Petworth House and Park, Sheffield Park, Saddlescombe Farm, New Timber Hill, Standon, Park House, is that right? And Garden and Wakehurst Place. A family membership is 2 adults and up to 5 children, 17 or under, all living at the same address, and under 5s go free. So if you're interested in that, there's also, as well as National Trust, you've got English Heritage, and the organisation that I work for, which is Historic Royal Palaces, they all have memberships, and I would suggest it is worth it for the summer holidays. If you think about the per visit cost, it is definitely worth investing if that's the kind of thing that your family would enjoy. My kids love activities, they like doing things, and you'll find that lots of places, lots of historic places and stately homes and things will run activities throughout the year, and they will have themed activities for the summer holidays as well. So it is worth checking before you go, so you can find out what's going on and take part. Now, if you heard Saturday Live this week, you will have heard that I was celebrating female singers and the kind of the energy and the emotion and the kind of hardcore I'm not taking this anymore attitude from all the female singers. I hate calling it girl power, partly because it's associated with that stupid vacuous girl band, but also because it belittles us and ill behoves us all to be called girls when actually we're women. A well-placed girl isn't so bad. I think when you it gets to a point where if you're under 10, being called a girl is okay, and if you're over 50, if somebody calls you girls, it's kind of, you know, going out with the girls or the girls are getting together. It's an affectation, but it kind of works. Anything in between, it just sounds patronising. So I've made that up on the spot, but that's kind of my estimation of it. Anyway, an artist who sadly was lost far too young, but who definitely wouldn't have been called a girl, was Amy Winehouse. And this is from an album of hers that I think is very underrated, because everyone talks about Back to Black, which was a great album. But Frank, I think, was brilliant, and this is the opening track from that one.
You should be stronger than me. You've been here 7 years longer than me. Don't you know you're supposed to be the man? Not pale in comparison to who you think I am. You always want to talk it through. I don't care. I always have to comfort you when I'm there. But that's what I need you to do. Stroke my hair. 'Cause I've forgotten all of young love's joy. Feel like a lady, and you my lady boy. You should be stronger than me. But instead, you're longer than frozen turkey. Why'd you always put me in control? All I need is for my man to live up to his role. Always wanna talk you through. I'm okay. Always have to comfort you every day. But that's what I need you to do. Are you gay? 'Cause I've forgotten all of young love's joy. Feel like a lady, and you my lady boy. Said the respect I made you earn. Thought you had so many lessons to learn. I said you don't know what love is. Get a grip. Sound as if you're reading from some other tired script. I'm not gonna meet your mother anytime. I just wanna grip your body over mine. Please tell me why you think there's a crime. I've forgotten all of young love's joy. Feel like a lady, and you my lady boy. You should be stronger than me. You should be stronger than me. You should be stronger than me. You should be stronger than me.
Now, some of those lyrics weren't particularly friendly, so I do apologise for any offence, because Amy did speak her mind, didn't she? She wasn't particularly politically correct. I was just going through some memories on Facebook, actually, and there's one here from July 2011, and Pop Bitch, which is a hilarious website or online feature magazine, had reasons to always treasure Amy Winehouse #1. When Liz Hurley came into her room to meet her in St Lucia, Amy told her to F off. not very overwhelmed by celebrity, Amy. So I remember seeing her being interviewed by Simon Amstel, actually, on the Sunday morning Channel 4 thing, which I can't remember the name of. And she came across as being a really good laugh. She just seemed really, really genuinely lovely, good fun. It's a shame that things kind of went wrong for her, but some beautiful music. There could have been so much more, couldn't there? Such a shame. The other memory I've got from 7 years ago, I'm just sharing this because I can't remember this at all, about feeling the monotony of being at home with a baby. Wake up, feed, sleep, feed, sing songs, feed, play, cry, feed, sleep, scream, feed. Oh dear. To be honest, it's not that different now. I mean, they still scream and shout at each other, possibly with less frequency and possibly for less reason. It's very difficult to kind of make sense of my children's needs and wants, because they do just they've got to a great stage now where they keep each other company, but it's quite limited because they do get on each other's nerves as well. So that's quite funny because obviously on an 8-hour journey there's only so much tolerance they can have for each other. And we did stop at a pub on the way back where they had a great play garden, so the kids were able to get out and have a run around, and that was really good fun. They kind of got to stretch their legs a bit. I like to try and do that so they don't get too bored, but they do wind each other up, but they also get on brilliantly now, which they didn't for a very long time. I will try and share again the listening project of me and my older son talking about adoption and talking about how his brother came to be in our family. It's very sweet and it's lovely to have as a memory. Now, more holiday schemes and activities that you might want to find out about. Aquajets, which is at the Sovereign Centre in Eastbourne. Learn to snorkel using motorised aquajets. This is for 8 years plus on a Wednesday evening. Equality Life Centre Eastbourne, 6 months to adult intensive holiday courses. I think the intensive swimming courses are brilliant. My older kid has definitely benefited from doing those. Be Creative, which is at Seaford, cake decorating and craft workshops for 8 years plus. Beacon Holiday Club in Crowborough, 8 to 14 years old. Blackberry Farm, Whitesmith near Lewes, own a pony or young farmers holiday clubs. That's 5 years plus. Brighton and Hove Albion FC do fun football and multi-skills courses at Eastbourne and Uckfield. That's for 5 to 14 years. Cavendish Sports Centre in Eastbourne to run schemes for 4 to 12 years. Cherrywood Kids Outdoor Activities in Arlington, 4 to 11 years. Bushcraft Forest School Camp Fun and Outdoor Adventures, and that's Chosen Paths for 5 to 12 years. I can't pronounce where that is. I'm going to try Hurstmonceau. Sorry if that's not right. Circle of Life Rediscovery, camps, woodland days, family days and nature-based fun for all ages. Doesn't say where that is. Peacehaven has the Deja Vu Cafe and have activities in the cafe. Seaford Downs Leisure Centre has drop-in activities for 2.5 to 12-year-olds. We have drama workshops. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about some drama activities because there's quite a few of those over the summer holidays, and I'm going to check if the theatre has got some as well. If you don't already follow me on social media, I am at Swazzy Rogers on Twitter, at Swazzy Rogers on Instagram. You can also read my blog, chocolateisnottheonlyfruit.blogspot.com. I've reduced the period of time that I used to blog quite frequently. I'm not blogging quite as much at the moment. I'm doing more of the radio, less of the blogging. Part of it was initially because I didn't have lots of things I wanted to blog about, because the early part of this year was very, very difficult. So I kind of didn't want to keep writing about grief and depression and anxiety and stuff because I felt that was possibly a little bit heavy and a bit dark for people. So I will probably get back into doing more of that. But also I found that the time just wasn't there to do it. So again, this is about me kind of pacing myself and being able to do loads and loads of stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to be at risk of overload.
Strange fear I ain't felt for years. The voice coming out close to tears. I can't let go of you now. you? Will you stop or will you just keep going? Please don't say no, no, no. Train comes, I don't know its destination. It's a one-way ticket to a madman situation. Train comes, I don't know its destination. I know. It's a one-way ticket to a madman situation. Train comes, I don't know its destination. I'll see but they be mad. It's a one-way ticket to a madman situation. Train comes, I don't know its destination. I know. It's a one-way ticket to a madman situation. Gotta be feeling sad.
We were talking in the car, me and hubby, about girl artists. And because one of the things that we love to do on holiday is there are a few really, really good charity shops in Croydon, in Cornwall. There are some great ones in Lewes as well. And we often buy things like DVDs and music for holiday. And if it's DVDs that we're not going to watch again, we leave them at the holiday cottages for other people to enjoy. So we watched Anchorman again, which we love, and also I bought Bridesmaids, which I've seen before. Didn't watch it, but I left it there, and some DVDs, some CDs. So hubby bought. We'd been talking about the Sugar Babes. I can't remember why. So he bought a CD of the Sugar Babes, and I mentioned how I thought the original incarnation was the best, the one with Siobhan as the songwriter, and how their infighting had been the big problem, and I disliked that. So while I liked some of their songs, I didn't like that, dislike of each other. And then they had an interview with All Saints, who have come back with a new album, and I said I never really liked the All Saints, and part of it was I didn't like their music, much like the Spice Girls. I didn't like them very much, but I was too old for them anyway. But also with the All Saints, I never got the impression that they keep sort of going on and on about how they're genuinely friends. I never bought that, and also I didn't think they were. I didn't get that they were actively positive role models for girls or women. I know that they wore combat trousers and all the rest of it, but there was something about them that didn't quite sit right for me. And so yeah, I don't know what the distinction is, because Sugar Babes weren't nice to each other. They weren't nice to, they handed out quite a few of the girls in the group, and then it came back on them because then they ended up getting booted out of their own group. So there is that other side of things, and I think bands are notorious. All bands over the history of time have falling out, and people get thrown out of the bands. I was reading about Delamitri, how it basically the two members of Delamitri just recruit other people to be in their bands all the time. So it is a notorious thing where people are thrown in and out of bands. But I think when it's women in bands, people are much more likely to say that it's because they're girls and that there's an emotional problem. They don't really say that about men in bands, do they? But yeah, that's my take on it. Now, I have mentioned, possibly to the point of ad nauseum, that we went to see Bjork performing at the Eden Sessions a few weeks ago, and she was completely bonkers and amazing, and just beautiful, beautiful voice. And the song that I've always associated with her, this isn't actually her song, this is a David Arnold song, which was written for the film Young Americans, and I've seen it performed live many times with I want to say David McCalmont, that's it. And David McCalmont has done the vocal, but I still think that Bjork's vocal for Play Dead is so much better. see what I mean? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. The film Young Americans wasn't all that. I've seen David Arnold speak quite a few times. He does these sort of Q&A things and performances, and he is amazing. My friend Jo Brody is... sorry, didn't need to say her whole name, did I? She's on Twitter. Follow her. She's great. She's doing an open-air screening of The Dish, if you want to come and see that in Blackheath. She's brilliant. And she goes to see David Arnold very, very often and invites me all the time. And I call her Miss J Brody, not to her face, obviously, because that's weird. And also, her family are Scottish, so I don't know where that's come from. So so she has invited me to come along to see David Arnold many times, and he often performs the music from various films like Stargate and Young Americans. And he said how one of his friends, he didn't get into cinemas, he didn't get into film school, his friend did, and he started, he'd always wrote music, and it was his friend asking him to score the film Young Americans that helped kind of set him on that path. And he is amazing. He does some beautiful stuff. One of the best ones was in Notting Hill a few years ago, where they did silent cinema, where they showed black and white films, and he and a couple of other musicians were scoring, like improvised scoring to the film that was showing. It was a really, really hot day, much like it's been recently, and lots of people were running late because of various strikes. I think there'd been a fire on one of the buses, so people were delayed getting there. And a dog bit my ankle. The things I remember. I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but I remember a dog bit my ankle 3 years ago on my way to Notting Hill. And the woman was really funny with me when I sort of looked at her, and she didn't apologise or anything. I don't think she realised that he'd kind of growled and bitten me. Nothing happened, nothing terrible. Not saying it to make anyone feel bad, just remembered, that's all. The brain is a funny thing. Now, I did say that I would tell you about things that were happening, and one of the big things happening in August is Kids Week, which used to be a week and is now a whole month. And this is when the London theatres get together and offer free tickets to children under 16. So we're full paying adults. One child can get in for free and the others get in for half price, and I think there's a limit on how many there are. And it's for quite a few of the shows in the West End. Bear in mind, though, that a lot of these tickets sell out very, very quickly. So as soon as it opens, people buy tickets for the very popular shows. So some will be sold out. But that doesn't mean you can't contact the theatre and find out if they've got anything available. I often do that, and they do get returns quite frequently, especially when people are buying for children, because things happen and things change. So you can also take part in additional activities. So sometimes you'll get a ticket for a show and then there'll be a workshop beforehand, or a meet the author type thing. Sometimes Michael Rosen often does those. Or there'll be an activity workshop where you can make masks or learn a dance or do things. So if you have a look at the official London website, I did have it up earlier actually, but I will check where it is and give you a proper bit of information rather than just making it up. My husband does this. He'll say, oh, I think it's this. He did this with the MOT last year. I haven't forgiven him. officiallondontheatre.com. The MOT said, oh yeah, I'll book it in for next week or whatever. And I said, why have you booked it in for next week? So he booked it in far too early. So we ended up kind of losing a month on the MOT. Don't get me started. In most other ways, he's very good. But in that one, not so much. So, yes, the shows that are worth seeing, they will already be sold out, obviously, but it includes Wicked, Aladdin, Chicago, Dreamgirls, Kinky Boots, Matilda, The Lion King and The School of Rock. So some of them will be completely sold out very quickly. The Lion King and Matilda, I would imagine, their allocation will have gone. But you can try. As I say, it's always worth trying because people do return tickets. The tickets went on sale in June, so quite a lot will have gone then. And also included in the offer is Kids Eat Free at some nearby restaurants, so you can make sure that no one's hungry when the curtain rises. Always a good idea to do food and theatre together, I think. Please don't take food into the theatre, especially not crinkly sweets and noisy drinks and things like that. And whoever it was that decided to sell those glow sticks and things in the theatre to children, please just stop it. It is really annoying. My children go to the theatre and sit there like normal theatre patrons. They don't need distracting with lights and flashy, noisy things. They are perfectly capable of participating in theatre like a normal patron. Anyway, having said that, the next track features more than one female singer, and it's one that hubby is always telling me who the singers are on this one. The only one that gets a credit is Jessie J, but it's good fun, this one. It's it's not deep and meaningful, but it's good fun.
You got a body like a nail, but I can get full throttle is swimming in the grotto, we winning in the lotto, we dipping in the pot of blue flow. Getting so good, it's dripping on wood. Get a ride in that engine that could go. Batman robbing it, bang bang cocking it. Queen Nicki dominant, prominent. It's me, Jesse and Ari. If they test me, they sorry. Riders up like a Harley, then pull off in this Ferrari. If he hanging, we banging. Phone ringing, he slanging. It ain't karaoke night, but get the mic 'cause I'm singing. B to the A, to the N to the G. B to the A, to the N to the G. Hey. See anybody come be good to you? You need a back out up on your mind, your mind. Okay.
That features Jessie J, Ariana Grande, and Nicki Minaj. Apparently does a rap on there, according to my husband, who is now my expert at identifying tracks and things. I don't know how he became the expert, but apparently he is. He knows this stuff. So yes, so he helped me out with that one by telling me who was who and who did what. So don't have a lot of time really. I've kind of tried to play loads of stuff for you, and I've tried to tell you about stuff. A few good shows coming up. I didn't get to go to the press night of Evita, but I hear it was very, very good, and that is touring, so I shall give you a heads up when it comes to Brighton, which is not long. And also Madagascar, which is the kids show based on the kids film, which I'm hoping to catch at Bromley before it goes there in September. And in a couple of weeks I'm going to see Flashdance, which I've seen before. I don't mind seeing shows twice. I love seeing shows again when they're good. Been to see quite a few Oscar Wilde ones this year as part of the classic spring season at the Vaudeville Theatre, and the one that's on at the moment is The Importance of Being Earnest, which I love. A good production of The Importance of Being Earnest is worth its weight in gold, and I can't wait to see this one because it's got a cracking cast in it as well. The last one I went to see was An Ideal Husband, and before that it was Lady Windermere's Fan. I have been to see The Importance of Being Earnest, which was a touring production at Bromley. It was okay. It wasn't great, it was okay, but I think I'm possibly being a bit critical because the classic spring one was so good. Also took my son to see The Selfish Giant, which was like a folk musical, and not up my street, I'll be honest. It was okay, but not really my sort of thing. So yeah, we gave it a go. I think it's fair to say. Yeah, I don't really know where to go with that. Loads of theatre coming up, loads of stuff that's going to be on, and I think the autumn season is going to be loads of new shows. Dirty Dancing is coming back, which I love. Made my husband watch Dirty Dancing a few weeks ago, against his will, against his wishes. Forced him to watch it. He doesn't really pay attention. He's not really that interested. He knows what he likes and he likes what he knows. I make him sound like a right div. He's not at all like that. But I did make him watch Dirty Dancing because I was teasing him into thinking I was going to take him to see the show. I'm not going to do that to him. It's really not his sort of thing at all. And the music isn't his cup of tea either. But it is mine. So I'm going to go and see it again. Now, an artist who I really liked when she first came out, and I continue to like, even though I read an article that she wrote about financial planning or something. I don't know why she was writing in the FT about financial planning. Maybe they asked her about it. And she took her stage name, Macy Gray, from a friend of her dad's who was a musician, I believe. He was a blues singer, which I think is a great thing to do. And this is the song that I think got her recognised. There were so many that I could have chosen, but I just thought, why not just go for the one that everyone knows and that really is just brilliant, and this is I Try.
Games, changes and fears. When will they go from here? When will they stop? I believe should be together, babe, but we're not. I play it off, but I'm dreaming of you. And I'll keep my cool, but I'm feeling. I try to say goodbye and I choke. I try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not there. Goodbye and I choke. I try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not there. I may appear to be free, but I'm just a prisoner of your love. And I may seem alright and smile when you leave, but my smiles are just a front, just a front. Hey, and I play it off, but I'm dreaming of you. And I'll keep my cool, but I'm feeling. I try to say goodbye and I choke. Yeah, try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not near. Goodbye and I choke. Try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not near. Here is my confession. May I be your possession? Boy, I need your touch. Your love kisses and such. With all my might I try, but this I can't deny. I play it off, but I'm dreaming of you, babe. I'll keep my cool, but I'm feeling. I try to say goodbye and I choke. Yeah, try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not near. Try to walk away. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. No love, my world crumbles when no love kisses us. Goodbye and I choke. Try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not near.
Wonderful Macy Gray. Love her. Absolutely love her voice. She's just got that beautiful rasping sound to her voice. Rasping. That sounded great, didn't it? Our friend Steve Parsons, who is a DJ on Radio Lewes, King Mob, is going to be performing with his band The Sharks and Friends at the Lansdowne on Thursday the 2nd of August, 7:30pm. Come and join us for a night of entertainment from the legendary Steve and his equally talented friends. That sounds great. Now, I promised to tell you about theatre school, but typically can't find any now that I'm looking. So I'm going to tell you about some other stuff instead. Saturday 4th of August, Far From Home, come all ye. Lewes Saturday Folk Club, 8pm at the Ellie. Bring songs, tunes and readings to suit the theme of Far From Home. Don and Di Morgan are in the chair. August Come All You nights are a good time to try singing or playing for the first time in a friendly atmosphere. Vocal and instrumental groups are welcome. Small choirs will find it a good... Sorry, I've lost the page. I was in the middle of reading and it's just disappeared. Small groups will find it a good place to try out new songs with some listeners. Everyone is welcome, especially if you'd like to sing or play. We mostly sing and play traditional music from the British Isles, but we enjoy other styles as well. Always start off with some English dance tunes for anyone with an instrument to join in. And they have a loyalty card. 6 visits earn you £5 off an evening when admission is £5 or more, but it's £3 on Saturday the 4th of August. And Monday the 6th of August, summer play scheme at the Malling Community Centre. Lots of exciting activities to keep your children occupied during the summer holidays. Face painting, den building, outdoor play, messy play, arts and crafts plus more. And that runs from the 6th to the 31st of August, starts at 8:30am, ages 4 to 11. And you can find out more by going to zigzagchildcare@gmail.com. You can email them and find out more about it. So if you want to find something for your little ones to do, I found a drama group. Well done. LTYG Drama Summer Groups, again Monday, 10am, Lewes Little Theatre. Experience working with an award-winning youth theatre and join 1 week or two at the LTYG Summer Theatre Group. These group sessions are ideal for budding performers who wish to develop their acting skills through a variety of fun-filled team and individual games and activities. It looks great fun. It includes vocal training, character analysis and development, improvisation, movement and interpretation. People of all abilities aged between 8 and 20 years old are welcome. Those who come along will enjoy an interactive and didactic experience in a friendly team, appreciative environment that instills confidence and encourages consideration of others. The summer drama group workshops will run from 10am until 12pm at the Lewes Little Theatre. Tuition will be led by long-standing Lewes Theatre Youth Group Director Tim Rowland. Tim is also a supply teacher at schools throughout Sussex and a tutor at Sussex Downs College. He's also a trained actor and a qualified performing arts and drama teacher, and of course he is fully CRB and DBS checked. Classes cost £60 per person per week, and you can email Lewes Little Theatre Youth Group @gmail.com, or you can go to the Lewes Little Theatre website and find out more about that. So I came through on that. Despite thinking I wasn't going to manage it, I did manage to come through on that, so I'm pleased with myself there. just about managed to save the day, I think. Now I'm going to try and find you a song that I've played you a few times that I'm completely in love with, which I'm not going to find now because I've said that. Janelle Monáe, you probably know because I've talked about Janelle Monáe so much, because I love her, and because I love this, because this is like a tribute to Prince. So I've probably got time to play you this and maybe one more, so we'll see how it goes. But when it comes to female vocalists, there are so many that I love and would have played, but Janelle is making it, she's working her way up the list, put it that way.
Yeah. Baby, don't make me spell it out for you. All of the feelings that I got for you can't be explained, but I can try for you. Yeah, baby, don't make me spell it out for you. You keep on asking me the same questions. Why? And second guessing all my intentions. Should know by the way I use my compression that you got the answers to my confessions. It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender and emotional sexual bender. Mess me up, yeah, but no one does it better. There's nothing better. That's just the way you make me feel. 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 So good, so good, so fucking real. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. You know I love you, so please don't stop it. You got me right here in your jean pocket right now, laying your body on the shag carpet. Oh, you know I love it, so please don't stop it. It's like I'm powerful with a little bit of tender and emotional sexual bender. Mess me up, yeah, but no one does it better. There's nothing better. That's just the way you make me feel. 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 So good, so good, so fucking real. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. Oh, that's just the way that I feel now, baby. Good God, I can't help it. Hey,
way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. So fucking good. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. That's just the way you make me feel. You make me feel so fucking good. So good, yeah. That's just the way you make me feel.
That was Janelle Monáe and The Way You Make Me Feel. For some reason, everything's kind of not responding very quickly today, so apologies for some of the less than technically adept little things there. I'm going to play one more. It's going to take me slightly over the time, but I hope you'll bear with me. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that if you've missed any of it, you will play the podcast. Enjoy the summer holidays. I love my kids, but sometimes I need them to not be around me. So my way of enjoying the summer holidays is to make sure that they're busy and having fun. And when we're together, we do our best to do the same. And to give them lots of hugs and kisses as well, and just to sometimes stop and watch them smiling and laughing, because that's just the best thing. Talking of stop and remember and smile and laugh, I went to see Norah Jones last year. I think it was October, might have been October, performing at Ronnie Scott's, and it was just wonderful, absolutely beautiful. And I discovered that there is a live recording of that, which I think is available on DVD, but also found that there are some live recordings of the songs. So I get chills from listening to this song. It's just so lovely, and being so close to Norah Jones in a room. I'm not quite one of those people that kind of goes crazy fan crazy, and I wouldn't have run up and kind of, touched her or anything, but to be that close and to hear the music, it was just so beautiful, such an intimate venue, and this was just beautiful. So I'm going to finish the show with this. Thank you so much, and I will be back with you again very, very soon.
And then I watch you, and then there was you, my dear. I thought love was a game one would win or would lose, until I found you. Until I found you, my dear. I thought love was a shame, so I threw it away. And then there was you. goes wrong. I just waited so long, and I fear love had gone. And then there was you.
Radio Lewes, Wi-Fi Radio.